After several years of persistence, including writing emails to various large, medium, and small media every week for more than 7 months, and protesting dozens of times at the Sydney Town Hall, New South Wales Parliament, New South Wales Supreme Court, ABC, the Australian SBS, and other places. Finally, last month, an Australian Chinese media outlet was willing to report my case. Although a lot of content was deleted and even the name of the store, Lithium Bicycle Shop, was not mentioned, I am still very grateful that the media finally reported my case. When the reporter communicated with Lithium Bicycle Shop, they suddenly presented new so-called evidence, a disclaimer to shrink responsibility, intended to prove that they had no problem at all. Lithium Bicycle Shop insisted that I had signed the disclaimer document at the time, and when the reporter asked them to produce the document I had signed, they used the classic excuse of, "It's been a long time and I cannot find it." 1. There was no such document at the time. If necessary, I can disclose the WeChat chat records for the past 2 years, and they have never mentioned the content of this disclaimer. Moreover, it is inconsistent with other WeChat chat records I have published. If the disclaimer was signed at the time, why not use this as a reason to defend themselves? 2. Lithium Bicycle Shop cannot find the signing of such an important disclaimer document at all. Is this logical? Generally, important documents in Australia need to be kept for 3 to 7 years for inspection after problems occur. 3. Nearly 3 months ago, Nine News in Australia just reported a similar e-bike merchant which helped customers secretly unlock the speed limit after signing the disclaimer. Is it possible that through this news, Lithium Bicycle Shop learned a trick and temporarily added a disclaimer document? Even though the other e-bike merchant mentioned in the article used some means to evade responsibility by signing a disclaimer, but it was still exposed by the media and criticized. What's more, Lithium Bicycle Shop simply could not produce the disclaimer document I signed more than 2 years ago, which is even worse. 4. We can also find some logical contradictions by further checking the content of the disclaimer. The disclaimer mentioned that my e-bike no longer meets the above legal requirements due to illegal modifications. But the problem is that the e-bike they sold me 2.5 years ago did not meet the legal requirements when it left the shop, even if nothing was done. For example, the power supply will not be automatically cut off after the speed exceeds 6 km/h, and a higher speed can be provided without pedaling. You can adjust the maximum speed you can reach according to the switch on the e-bike. The low gear is 25 km/h, the medium gear is 35 km/h, and the high gear is 45 km/h. You can retrieve the police body camera on 13th of April 2023 as evidence, or go directly to Lithium Bicycle Shop to collect evidence. because the old version e-bike is still used on the road by others and occasionally goes to their store for repairs, so you can see tangible evidence. 5. The picture below is the latest e-bike version. Compared with the one I bought more than 2 years ago, many illegal points have been improved, but there are still illegal parts. These illegal e-bikes are still on sale. Even if Lithium Bicycle Shop now says that they will sign a disclaimer, no one knows how it will actually be implemented. Because I am alone and the Lithium Bicycle Shop knows me, I cannot secretly inquire about the situation. If there are willing reporters, they can conduct private investigations to find out how many people know about the disclaimer and how many people have signed the latest disclaimer. The part I circled in the picture is the switch for adjusting the maximum speed. It is already there when purchased by default. How do you think ordinary consumers have the ability to modify a switch that perfectly fits the original e-bike structure without any trace of modification? Moreover, it is not as simple as adding a switch. To make the e-bike meet the function of adjusting the maximum speed on the switch, the control program and the logic of internal chip need to be modified. Do ordinary consumers have the ability and the tools to do it? It must be done by Lithium Bicycle Shop. Ordinary consumers are not able to do it, and it is already there by default when purchased. 6. The latest e-bike sales page on Lithium Bicycle Shop's official website also retains evidence of their illegality, as shown in the figure below. We can clearly see that they use the default unlocking speed, which can reach 45 km per hour, as a unique selling proposition. The newly added disclaimer is just to avoid responsibility. There was no such disclaimer filed before. Moreover, the power can exceed 500 watts and reach 1,000 watts, which is also a point for judging it as a motorcycle, which does not meet the regulations. 7. EN 15194 clearly stipulates that e-bikes cannot unlock the speed limit of 25. Lithium Bicycle Shop knowingly violated the rules. Not only did it not avoid it, but it also blatantly unlocked the speed for consumers by default, which is completely inconsistent with the provisions of EN 15194 and is illegal. Moreover, as shown in the figure below, the EN 15194 compliance report was forged to further deceive consumers. According to New South Wales law, forging a compliance report can result in a sentence of up to 10 years in prison. E-bikes from more than 2 years ago do not meet the standards of EN 15194 at all. This has been inspected and identified by the police many times. If necessary, the police body camera on 13th of April 2023 can be retrieved as evidence, or go directly to Lithium Bicycle Shop to collect evidence. Because the old version e-bike is still used on the road by others and occasionally goes to their store for repair, so you can see tangible evidence. 8. When co-hosting the e-bike safety seminar with the police and the council, the e-bike version displayed by Lithium Bicycle Shop was without adjustment switches, which complied with Australian law. Why was it another illegal version that was actually sold?